For years now, honeybees in the U.S. have been dying, and it seemed to be a mystery as to what was killing them. Well, the EPA has finally conceded that a very widely used pesticide could be the reason for these honeybees dying. Now, they released a report, and according to Mother Jones, the report card was so dire that the EPA could potentially take action to restrict or limit the use of the chemical by the end of this year. Now, the chemicals in question are referred to as neonicotinoids, and there are 5 different types, and one specific type was found to be the killer of bees under this EPA report, okay, or the reason for all these bees dying. So tens of millions of acres of farmland are treated with neonics every year, and the health of the U.S. honeybee hives continues to be dismal. Now, reviewing dozens of studies from independent and industry-funded researchers, the EPA's risk assessment team established that when bees encounter these pesticides at levels above 25 parts per billion, a common level for neonics in farm fields, they suffer harm. These effects include decreases in pollinators as well as less honey produced. So what happens is there are certain agricultural fields and crops where we use these pesticides, specifically soybeans, cotton, and there was one more, citrus. And so you use these pesticides and it ends up in the pollen of, the fruit, the flowers, and the bees consume that pollen, and then it leads to them either becoming ill or just dying off completely.
Yeah, it's actually shuts down nervous systems.
Yes,
It's pesticides.
It's pesticides.
It gets rid of bugs.
I mean, it's an insecticide, and so it's funny because you're reading the article and they were like, insecticides and affect bees, and you're like, yeah, it's a freaking insecticide.
Right? No, but that's
holy shit.
That's a testament to how corrupt everything in this country is right now, because the EPA could not just admit to this, could not concede to it.
Oh yeah, well, colony collapse disorder is like everyone's flipping out because we just have honeybees disappearing at a rate. I think the honeybee population in the U.S. is now less than half of what it was at the end of World War II.
Yeah,
and 1 in 3 bites of food that we eat originates from bees pollinating.
This is a huge.
It's like terrifying. Like we're all gonna die.
This is a huge issue. It's really it's gonna impact our food. We already have limited resources as it is, and this is gonna make it worse. Now, the 2 companies that make these chemicals include Syngenta and Bayer. I'm unclear as to how much political sway they have, but I'm guessing quite a bit if it took the EPA this long to concede that these pesticides have a negative impact on these bees.
And then even like I think the quote said, the EPA, it's gonna get to the point. It's getting so horrible. They may have to take action.
I know. I know.
We might take action. This long, insufferable process to come up with this conclusion that everybody already knew, right?
Yes.
I mean, of course, if you put the insecticide all over the frickin' flower, and then it's going to be in the pollen too.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not a motherfucking scientist, and I am figuring this shit out really quick.
Yeah, I mean, that was the suspicion from the get-go. But again, the government was very resistant to that criticism. Right. They were resistant to actually investigating it. And as I mentioned, there are 5 different types of these pesticides. So far, they've only really done in-depth studies into one of them, and they found a positive, causal relation.
But yes, we've all known this about.
We knew this lesson with DDT, right?
Yes.
With birds and the effect that it's still having on raptor populations. And I mean, it's Silent Spring, Rachel Carson. Like, we know this. We frickin' know this. All environmentalists know this. And I read this story, and I literally was like, oh, great. Is it frickin' Groundhog Day at the EPA?
But then the response could be, so what do? We need our insecticides, our pesticides. We need to get rid of the problem when we grow our crops because you guys are buying it. This is what feeds everyone, or he said cotton as well.
Cotton.
So in doing this, the problem then is going to be, what do you want us to do? Stop? Because then we have to find an alternative solution. Again, we're lazy. Come up with something else.
Yeah.
There's another way. There has to be another way to do it.
We can't keep destroying the environment and then putting our hands in the air and saying, I don't know, well, it's too difficult to find a different solution. So let's just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, you hope necessity.
Forms of energy.
Yeah.
Same way. It's like, well, gas and fuel has been the way we've always done it. What do you want us to do? Research and find something else? Yeah. What, go electric, go any kind of power? We don't want to do it because we're too good for that.
I don't know. God forbid we create jobs around innovation.
I know, it'd be crazy.
Like
we're not about that life anymore.